Hello, my name is Laura Mitchell. I am a student here at Liberty University Online, and I am currently a psychology major with an intensive in biblical counseling, and I have been married for 18 years. I have 3 beautiful children. I am looking to complete my master's degree after I complete my bachelor's and pursue an LPC. I am very interested and have a passion for marriage, family, and children. My husband and I have been in full-time ministry for over 10 years. We have worked with littles, we have worked with youth, and we have worked with adolescents. We are currently family pastors at a church here in Huntsville, and we oversee 0 to 5 years in young families. And it is a joy and an honor to serve our families here and to continue to be a student at Liberty and to learn and grow and just be able to partner and see families come into healing. My research topic was a topic that is of interest to me because I have a middle child who has struggled with generalized anxiety. So I chose the research topic interest of children and anxiety, and I wanted to identify possible variables or influences that could be contributing to the child's anxiety within the home environment. I wanted to look at, would it be more effective for not only a child to receive therapeutic services who struggles with generalized anxiety, but also the household and the parents that the child is currently living in, the structure in the household that they are in. So my research topic question was, how do environmental factors such as a parental anxiety sensitivity either reduce or trigger and intensify a child's anxiety? Two of the related journals that I found through the Jerry Falwell Library was very helpful, very insightful, and we are going to look at those two today. So my first article was one by Francis and Sarah Romild, and it was entitled Assessing Parental Cognitions About Child Anxiety. Are parents' thoughts about child anxiety associated with child anxiety and anxiety sensitivity? I found this article to be very helpful and very insightful in answering my research topic. The article examined whether or not the anxiety sensitivity that a parent experiences affects and influences the child's level of anxiety. Their findings were solidified what I intentionally thought, that the anxiety level of a child may actually be influenced by the anxiety level of the parent. If a parent's anxiety does contribute to the child's anxiety, then this would also impact the child's perceived sense of safety and stability in the home, and could therefore complicate or hinder the therapeutic services that the child is receiving. So my thought is, if we approach it as a holistic entire household therapeutic service to address any anxiety that's in the parent alongside the anxiety in the child, then we would see an increase in the benefits of the therapeutic practices that are recommended for the child. An interesting part of the first article that I read just confirmed that there's a growing number of studies, so not just this one, that has sought to examine the parent level variables that influence how they respond to their children. Collectively, the studies have demonstrated the importance of not only examining the child's level of anxiety, but also the parental beliefs about the child's anxiety in context of factors such as the parental engagement in the child's treatment of anxiety, the family accommodations for the symptoms of the child anxiety, and the parental experiential maybe avoidance or denial of it. So the recent evidence suggests that it's important to also examine the parental beliefs about the child's anxiety, and to ascertain if the parent's anxious cognitions are being transferred to their child. So as we went through this particular article, at the very end, the present findings did contribute to the understanding of what is called in the article anxiety sensitivity. So if the parent's anxiety sensitivity was raised, then that also contributed to the child's anxiety being raised. So it suggested that this would be a key variable to examine in the future treatment and of prevention work as well. It revealed that there is a relationship between the parent anxiety sensitivity and the anxiety of the child. In my second article, I was able to find it also affirmed that not only does environmental factors influence the level of anxiety that a child experiences, but also genetic factors also contribute that. They may be pre-exposed or have a predisposition to it based off of a mother's experience with anxiety, or of a parent's or a father's or a caretaker. So according to Cheeseman, in the article, it says that our results are supportive of parent effects on depressive symptoms at age 8. So as early as age 8, you can begin to see some of the impacts from it. The genetic nurture effect on depressive symptoms was partially mediated by maternal anxiety and depression. So though this was a modest study, it did indicate that there could be efforts to alleviate maternal anxiety and depression that would be beneficial and have a positive outcome on child anxiety and also child depression. If I were to do a further study on this, I would choose quantitative. One of the articles was actually a quantitative article. And according to Crawford in our textbook, researchers using quantitative methods seek objectivity through testable hypotheses and thoroughly and intentionally designed studies. This is going to quantify and give us solid numbers, solid statistics, so that we can have a better way of measuring and gauging whether the data collected is accurate. And then we can look at the general audience and we can lay those over it and come to a better conclusion about how anxiety is actually affecting the parent and the child and what that correlation is. Quantitative methods also enable researchers to gather large amounts of information and analyze that, according to Crawford, in an efficient way, relying on that numerical data to measure it consistently and to be able to evaluate the variables. Limitations with this would be according to Crawford, numerical information and statistics, while they are insightful and helpful, they can often lack the ability to consider other variables like demographics and culture and influence and the atmospheres of the home, the age, the life experiences, all of that you would get in a qualitative one. Influence, reliability, and validity are all also factors that need to be considered. Is the consistency of your measure to produce similar results on different occasions? And then therefore reliability is primarily concerned with being able to replicate or reproduce the findings. With the quantitative, there is the ability to test and retest, which has a strength and a weakness, because you can retest, which is great. However, if the participants are different or they've dropped out or you don't have as many, these are all going to impact the numbers, since you're dealing with numbers and data. So you want to make sure you consider that. There are also reliability limitations. You're going to look at your time consumption. How long is that going to take? How much money is it going to take? Are you going to be able to have engagement, whether that's from online platforms or mail surveys or surveys that are done within a large group or audience? When we talk about validity, we are actually concerned with the accuracy of the measurements used to assess the different variables. So when measuring a variable, there are several types of validity to consider. And three of the most common are going to be your external, your construct validity, and your internal validity. So according to Crawford, each of these types of validities are going to deal with a different aspect of the measurement. So you're going to want to make sure you keep in mind your sample size, the time, your participants, are they the same? Did they drop out? Are there external factors? Are there unknown influential factors? And your cultural variables that are also indicating whether or not you're getting an accurate response. Two of the measurement resources that were used in the first article was the Parent Sensitivity to Child Anxiety Index and the Parental Beliefs About Anxiety Questionnaire. These are all helpful in using when you're gathering this quantitative information, and then to be able to use to compare your data that you collect alongside other broader and more detailed data that's also been collected from a different group of people, and be able to have an analysis and a compare and contrast. You could use for collection of data a survey via online platforms or paper surveys or polls. Again, some of the difficulties in that would be the time that it takes. Did you collect enough? And the cost of those different surveys. How would I analyze the data collected? Again, I would use those parent questionnaires and also access to a larger, broader research that's already been done to compare the two. Is it closely aligned? Is it far outreaching and not quite much as aligned as I had seen in other researches? And then what is the best approach? I decided that the best approach would be the quantitative method according to Crawford. Again, enabling me to gather large amounts that are not being influenced by your qualitative measures, that are just hard numbers and statistics that are going to give you that numerical feedback. In conclusion, the research topic question was focused around the environment of the home, and does the level of anxiety that a parent experiences directly impact the child level, reducing it or intensifying it. I would use the quantitative survey research method in order to gather numerical data and stats to support the findings. I would be aware of the limitations that could be present, such as your time and your cost effectiveness, the parental engagement, knowing whether it was a two-parent household, a one-parent household, is it a caretaker, or is it an adoptive parent, a foster parent? All of those are going to have different implications. I think a helpful way to be able to measure would be to use the parent sensitivity to the child anxiety tool, and then the parental beliefs about the anxiety questionnaire as well, so that as we're gathering this, we're looking at not just our audience as one single audience, but also a broader demographic, and how do they relate to one another? Are they experiencing the same things? And that can all be revealed using the tools that we have said here. I enjoyed doing this research. I enjoyed learning more about quantitative and qualitative ways to study variables and things that influence families and their children. So I wanted to thank you for this opportunity, and I hope that you find this information helpful.